cannot achieve the ends that the elections cannot achieve.
Well, thank you, Omar. I think we'll hear Wandayi. Did you want to say something, Co-Chair?
You can go first.
Yes, let me say this and start from where my friend Omar has left. Demonstrations, of course, are a way of expressing oneself and properly guaranteed under the Constitution and enabling laws. There's no doubt, really, regardless of the objective. But let me ask you, in your investigations, and I want to agree with you, because actually what you said here corroborates to a very large extent the testimony of a government agency, IPOA, which were before us here yesterday, and they were seated there. Your evidence corroborates their testimony to a very large extent. But let me ask you, because we need to remain as objective as possible, in your investigations, did you come across evidence that the police killings, which have been documented, were a reaction to threats posed by the demonstrators, either the police themselves or any other citizens? Okay? And even in those circumstances, was the use of lethal force, including live bullets, justified? I want to ask another question, and very, very briefly. In your research, I'm sure you do research a lot, and you do in comparable jurisdictions. Under what circumstances can the police service deploy persons who are not uniformed and carrying military-style guns, actually assault rifles, not uniformed, carrying assault rifles, not wearing any protective gear, okay, to face demonstrators or a mob or a rioting mob? What would be the intention of such deployment if not to kill the mob? I hope you get me. That you are not uniformed, which means nobody can recognize you as a police officer. You are not having any protective gear, which means don't fear. You are not scared of any possible assault. And you are deployed into a crowd, which is charged. Okay? Finally, is, and I posed this question yesterday to IPOA, and they agreed that indeed it is possible for a private entity or person to undertake private prosecution. And this is clear, it's implicit under Article 157 of the Constitution. 157(6), the director of the DPP, rather, shall exercise state powers of prosecution and may, among other things, at B, take over and continue any criminal proceedings commenced in any court that have been instituted or undertaken by another person or authority, and so on and so forth. Of course, this implies that another person or authority other than the DPP can institute private prosecution. Because the case we faced yesterday was that the IPOA has forwarded numerous files against specific police officers whom they accuse of killing Kenyans during demonstrations, and yet those files are still lying at the DPP. Nobody knows what became of them, and nobody for sure knows when they shall ever be released or be acted upon. Is it possible that Amnesty International and related organizations or persons can exercise the right under the Constitution and the law to institute private prosecution against these culpable police officers? Thank you. I'll stop it at that.
Maybe just to say something, my name is Catherine. The demonstrators, as much as they have the right to demonstrate, let them keep off from school zones and know that the children have their right. That's what I wanted to say.
Yes.
Just the demonstrators or the police, because police also tear gassed innocent kids in school, in Westlands actually.
That's a very valid point.
Very, very specific.
Let us keep
the demonstrators.
Police off school areas. Demonstrators also must keep off school areas.
Thank you,
And even
Anna
presidential
Irungu Houghton with your Amnesty International, and we thank you for the good work you're doing. At times, I like us to speak for posterity, because Hassan Omar was chair of the Human Rights Commission. At the same time, I was chair of LSK. And when you speak for human rights, it's always good to speak that you would be on this other side. And I remember one time Ahmed Nasir told us as a Muslim, Islam dislikes people are